Alright guys, I'd just like to welcome you back to another Wise Choice Systems build. It is in the aerocool 6th element case, and obviously it's white. If you saw earlier, I did do a quick review on the case, including a little added part at the end that I found whilst I was building it, but we will quickly go through this case again in a little bit more detail. As you can see up here, we'll start with the top. So you got your SATA, you got your USB headphone mic, USB, your HDD LED, power, reset, and your power button. I'll see if I can get in there and show you guys. Oops, that's a bit too much glare. Oh, there you go. But they've actually, you can't see it in this camera, so I do apologise, but they've actually scribed into the panel itself, the actual images. I'll see if I can get one without a bit of glare. I do apologise guys, this camera I'm still getting used to. So no, sorry, I can't do it. But anyway, it's all scribed in here. It looks quite good. It is quite an attractive case, at least I seem to think so. What I'll do as well is, so you guys can see what the lights are like, I'll turn this light off and I'll turn the monitor off. Now obviously, 1 second, this is running with just the standard light from the room, so it's not too bad. What I will actually do for you guys is I will show you how this looks at night. So I'll turn the lights off and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so this is what it looks like at night. As you can see, you've got the light at the back, which is the exhaust here. That's what it looks like at the front. If you open up your front panel, and that's what it looks like. You can see the fan down in there spinning away, and obviously this light here is your HDD LED and your power LED. That is the side. Now as you can see, there's not too much light in there. Obviously I've got no cathodes or anything like that, and I don't have a rear fan with a light in there, so that would look quite good if I did. And we'll turn it around so you can actually see a little bit more of the back here, and there you go. That's the exhaust guys, that's what it looks like. Alright, so that's what it looks like at night. I am actually also going to test the light on this camera, just because I haven't used it before, so I'm going to take this opportunity to use it. And look at that, you can almost see that scribes in there. There you go. You can see the USB scribe there. You see the headphone mic jacks. Look at that USB. And the SATA. You can only just see it. I don't know how that'll turn out, but anyway. Okay guys, I'm just going to turn the lights back on, and we'll go through this case in a little bit more again. Okay, so here we are back again. Now obviously that is the side panel, which is the back of the board. So obviously there's nothing there. You do have a little handle so you can slide it out, which isn't on the other side. As you can see here, where the door is, it's got like a little sort of finger gap just there, so you can open it quite easy, and it does close quite easy as well. Now guys, if you do build in this case, you will notice that I've actually pushed the optical drive back a bit, so that instead of the optical drive bay being flush, as you can kind of see there, the button's flush. Because what happens is, when you close this door, if it's not flush, it actually hits the button and it constantly keeps opening, and it can be a little bit annoying. So yeah, so apart from that, it is only a medium tower case. I think it's about $100 case, I think it is. So it is quite good. There are a few sort of little quirks about it that I didn't like. I think that should have been magnetic, but it is slightly magnetic, but it's not as strong as probably what I would have liked. Obviously, that's where it hinges and everything like that. So if we go around, and so now as you can see, there's the side panel. It is quite large, so you can see you got your power supply down here. It is perspex, it's a bit shaky. I'll show you on the inside of this how it's actually mounted and stuff. So and it does actually fit the NH-D14 cooler in it, and I am going to say this once again, if you remember, not even the Antec 1200 fitted that, and this is a medium. And if you have a look in there, I don't know if I can get you the right angle, but there is actually about, I don't know, say maybe 5mm gap from the very top of the block to the edge there. So you wouldn't get a fan on here. If you wanted to, you could obviously put a fan down here or anything like that. Okay, so we'll go through the back of the case a little bit. You'll notice that I even cable manage my spare cables. But yeah, so you know, obviously you got the back of the power supply here. We are running a aerocool Strike X 1100 watt power supply. Then you got your water cooling here. It's all quite open, so a lot of flow. And then you've obviously got all your bays for, you know, your PCI slots, rear fan. We've actually mounted a Cooler Master PWM fan at the back here, mainly because I didn't have any other fans in stock, and I'm waiting on the ones to come in, and I wanted to get this build needed to get done. So it is running a PWM fan, but it's moving a butt ton of air, and with obviously the flow from the D14, I don't know if you guys have ever used one, but you can pretty much feel it way back here. In fact, I can feel it on my fingers when I'm holding this camera. And obviously that's the back of the Mobo, and these are those screws I was telling you about earlier. If you take these off and take the panels off, you can unscrew that and the whole top can come off. Pretty standard stuff. Thumb screws, which, you know, obviously hold it in. As you're aware, there's no thumb screws in this one because well, I'm taking it off. The only thing here that I don't like is, you know, there's nowhere to kind of grab to do it, so you got to kind of get behind there and then just give it a bit of a squeeze and pop it off, which is kind of disappointing. In the accessories it comes with the lock, so that you can actually screw it onto here and, you know, obviously lock it all off. Now here is the top of obviously the Strike X case. Underneath it, it's got a red fan. Now obviously, because this build is quite a, I suppose you could say, almost say a generic build, so there's no sort of high-end cards or anything like that. The highest thing in here is probably the cooler. But yeah, so basically we had leftover cables, so just cable tied them all nicely off here just with a Velcro tie, so that if they need to get it to it later or add to it, they always can. Because it is a micro ATX board, obviously I didn't come right down here, so all of my stuff pretty much had to come through this hole here, which is kind of a bit disappointing. I would have liked to have seen maybe a possibility of having a hole here, so that way I wouldn't have had to have worried so much about, you know, running everything along like that. I mean, it's not too bad, it doesn't look that bad, but all in all, it's kind of a bit disappointing. The only other thing that disappointed me about, there we go, as you can see in there, the only other thing that disappointed me is you'll notice that I've had to run the back fan here along through there and then up, and it actually plugs in sort of hidden away where you can't actually see it. No, actually it plugs in right there, so right there is where it plugs in. I'll try and do this without hitting the fan. So it's just in there, because there's actually nowhere else to plug it into, as you can see. So that was actually quite disappointing, and the actual where you plug your fan in, I don't know if I can get you in there, but it's basically just behind there and just underneath the block. So it wasn't too bad. Obviously, you know, that there is a gap between the card and the block, so it is quite good. And I mean, if you really wanted to, you could chuck a second card in down the bottom there. Now at the front here, you can see that there is a 140mm fan. Now these fans move a lot of air. I don't know if I get close enough if you'll hear it. But basically I can feel that way back here quite easily. Obviously that we are running the in the top here. This is what I was telling you about in the other video. There is in fact a caddy for your SSDs or your smaller drives, like your 2.5s and stuff like that. So mounted that in there. Then obviously that's the OCZ Agility 3. and then there's our Seagate Barracuda 1TB, which I'm pretty sure if you've seen any of my other builds are pretty standard in my builds. And then up the top there you got your Samsung. Now I don't know if I can get you, oh there you go, you can just kind of see the cabling up there. Now because I was actually able to take this whole top panel off by obviously, you know, undoing the screws here and the screws on the other side, the whole panel came off. They're on about here on the other side, about sort of in this area here on the other side, there's like a little cutout section here, so I just ran it there. And I don't know, yeah, you can only see the HDD cables and stuff and the power cables back there, but basically I ran it, oh that's right, because I ran it out there and then I ran it across the back and then down, and then it obviously comes up through there into here. Now with the actual ATX power, that was another thing that I liked because I could take it off. If you look, you can sort of see where it comes in up beside the fan there, runs along the side of the fan, then comes out here and then goes in. So you see very minimal of it, and same as the fan goes out the back there and then uses the ATX to plug in. So this was quite an enjoyable case to build in. I really did like the fact that, you know, we can, I think I've given us enough room so that I can show you here without, I can't take it right out. Basically if I wanted to, I could, you know, you can take that out so that you can fit in the higher end cards and the longer end cards and stuff like that. So there is quite a bit of thought. This one here though is mounted in, it's hard screwed in. So yeah, all in all it is quite a nice case. And you know, up the top there you got another it's actually a 240mm fan. At first I thought it was a 120, but it is only a 240. I am now, what is actually running in this thing is in fact, it's a, obviously we're running the aerocool 6 element white case. It then goes into the, we've got the gigabyte Z68MA D2H B3 motherboard, the Intel Core i7 2600K. Now we're actually running that at 4. I think it's yeah, we're running it at, sorry, we've overclocked it at pretty much a whole point. So instead of running at 3.2, we're running it at 4.2. We are also, I'll see if I can get us in there to see some. That didn't quite work, did it? I don't think I'm going to be able to get you in there, but anyway, we are running, maybe there it is there, look at that. We are running some Corsair Vengeance low profile DDR3 1600, 8 gig of memory. As I said, it's got the OCZ Agility 3 60 gig SSD, the Seagate Barracuda 1TB SATA 3, Samsung Blu-ray combo, Noctua NHD 14, aerocool Strike X 1100W PSU, and as you look over to my screen here, it is running Windows XP Pro. Now it's just, it was actually doing a bench, so through Passmark it's actually scored 3765.2, which, you know, if you wanted to you could go through it all. It's not too bad. Oh, and as for the graphics card, guys, sorry, that is one more thing. We are actually only running a low end card. Well, not really low end, but there's a box there. That's what we're running. We're running the Asus HD 6770. It's not too bad a card. I'd say, yeah, I'd probably be as bold to say it's probably a little bit higher than entry level into gaming. Like, you know, you could run your Battlefield 3 and everything like that on it. You can tweak it using the onboard options. So, you know, as you can see, you got your HDMI and everything like that options, so it's not too bad a card for the price. And, you know, give you a good look at the box. So I'll try and get out of this glare. Sorry guys, I'm doing this at night because I have so many builds to do and so many things going on, and I'm just trying to get you guys as much builds as I can. So yeah, so that's you know, that's the card that's in there. There's the Mobo box, and then obviously show you a unopened version, and there's the Strike X. And actually what I will do is I will show you here, that's the under tray that I was telling you of the Strike X, and behind that is a red fan. So if you did want to mount it up, it does actually look quite good, and I don't actually mind these power supplies. I haven't had any issues with them. I would call it semi-modular, because obviously it's got a certain amount of cables that are already wired, and then apart from that you have the option of then adding in. And as you can see here, you got your PCI here. So say for example you were running multiple cards, then you would just plug it in there, and you can't see here, I think I had a cable, I don't have one laying around at the moment, but basically they're looped, and the way they recommend to do it is to just go in, loop it back. So say if you're running 3 cards, then that way you got the 2 here, so you'd run the 2 plugging in here and the one that already comes with it. So if you wanted to run 3 cards, you could. So yeah, so that's quite a good power supply, and I'll take you in for a bit of a closer look as well. I'm sorry I can't get the lighting. It's a bit fuzzy and stuff like that. I wonder if I turn the light on. I'll just have glare, so I'm not going to bother. But yeah, all in all, there's some nice equipment in there. I was pleasantly surprised. I do run quite a few different benches. I ran 2 at a time just to see exactly. As you can see down here, maybe not because too much glare again. Anyway, I've got the core temp running. So basically, as for the card scored in Cinebench, it got an 81.35 for the frames per second, and it scored 8.17 points for the CPU. Yeah, we'll save that. And then in Nova Bench, I think it scored 1,400 and something like that. I'd have to log back in, but if you go to Nova Bench and look up Wise Choice Systems, then you'll be able to see all my test benches and stuff there, because I do lodge them. So guys, all in all, it's a brilliant case. And as for temperatures, obviously I am running an excessively large air cooler for this case and stuff like that. But as you noticed, I did overclock it. I'm probably going to tweak it a little bit more, see if I can squeeze a bit more out of it from air. At the moment, it's only at it's gone from 3.2 to 4.2, so I'll probably try and get it to maybe 4.5 or something like that. And we'll see how we go. If I do get it there and it's stable, then I'll probably post a video, and I'll post a video with the stats in case anyone else wants to do it. But that'll be something that I'll tinker with later. Anyway guys, the highest peak that I got it running Cinebench at the same time as running Nova Bench was 60. I probably wouldn't recommend doing that, but I figured we'll give it a go, just to really stress it out. But yeah, so anyway guys, it's been another Wise Choice Systems build. As usual, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Remember that these are all custom build systems, so if ever you're after a system or even have any questions, please post a comment or even send me a message. Enjoy.